Tonight in Los Angeles, there's real news, not noise. And if you're here with me right now, you're going to get it complete, calm and straight. The Lakers have reached a crucial, positive turning point in LeBron James' recovery, and it changes how we frame this team's ceiling for the next stretch of the season. This is Lakers News Fan Report. I'm talking directly to you, like always, as a Lakers fan who lives this team possession by possession, here to bring you reliable updates, internal context, and serious analysis about everything that matters in purple and gold. In this video, I'm going to walk you through where LeBron's rehab truly stands, what the organization has decided for the next phase, how the group has handled his absence, what this means for his minutes, lineups, and long-term management, and why the balance of caution and ambition we're seeing right now is one of the smartest things this franchise has done in years. I'll also connect his return window with a key part of the schedule and how that impacts Luka Doncic, Austin Reaves, the rotation, and the front office's next move. Stay with me until the end, because the headline is only half the story. The real value is understanding what it means. Let's start from reality, not panic. The Lakers are 8-3 through a demanding early stretch, playing a 5-game road trip, splitting tough matchups, dealing with injuries to Doncic, Reaves, and LeBron at different moments, and still looking like an actual, functional basketball team. That's not trivial. It matters because any serious talk about LeBron's health has to begin with this. There's no need to rush him back for optics. Sciatica at his age isn't something you gut through for a random date on the calendar. It's nerve health, biomechanics, workload, and long-term stability. From everything coming out of the organization, the medical staff, J.J. Redick and the front office are treating it exactly that way. Controlled, methodical, no shortcuts. And this strong start has given them something priceless in this league when your legend is out. Breathing room. The team is competing. The team is defending. The team is generating shots without needing LeBron every action. That's the foundation you want before you even think about bringing him back. Now we get to the real substance of tonight's update. The next phase of LeBron's recovery is no longer just about individual workouts and carefully scripted drills. The Lakers have approved a step that only happens when there is real confidence in how the body is responding. He's ramping up basketball activity with live team concept, starting with structured work alongside the South Bay Lakers before fully reintegrating with the main group. That detail is huge. Practicing with the G League affiliate gives the staff an ideal environment, controlled but competitive, game speed actions without the full NBA travel and spotlight, the ability to monitor how his back and leg respond to contact, changes of direction, defensive slides, screens, drives, closeouts, all inside a framework they can adjust in real time. For a player of his status to embrace that path tells you a lot about his mindset. No ego about the setting. Full commitment to doing this the right way instead of rushing into a headline. While that process unfolds, the schedule quietly works in their favor. The Lakers finish the road trip against elite opponents, push through a physically and mentally demanding run, then come home into a stretch that lines up almost perfectly with the internal expectation for his return. The working target, without turning it into a promise, is mid to late November, with that home game against Utah and Los Angeles projecting as a natural moment to reintroduce him. Controlled minutes, familiar building, full medical oversight, no panic. From there, the staff can manage his usage on back-to-backs, regulate travel load, and be selective with emotional or high-mileage games. The important word here is control. Everything about this update signals structure, not desperation. On the court, the implications are big and encouraging. The LeBron-less Lakers have been forced to evolve. Doncic has carried stretches as the primary engine, shouldering heavy usage, then recalibrating as he settled in. Reaves has proved again he can be a real secondary creator, manipulating pick and rolls, reading tags, scoring and facilitating in big moments. Role players have stepped into clear responsibilities instead of standing and watching. That's exactly why bringing LeBron back now is so interesting. This isn't about handing him the entire offensive universe again. It's about layering his game on top of a structure that already works. See him as the connector and accelerator. He's the player who turns good spacing into great reads, punishes switches in the post without needing constant isolations, runs deadly two-man actions with Doncic, hits shooters in rhythm, controls tempo when teams try to junk up coverages, and still has the size to force defensive adjustments every trip. Strategically, this update lets the Lakers do something contenders usually struggle with: commit early to a responsible season-long plan. LeBron in year 23 cannot be a 38-minute nightly solution from December to April. If the goal is June, you aim for that 28 to 30 range most nights, lifting him situationally, embedding rest into the schedule. You build lineups tailored to protect him defensively, bigger wings, mobile bigs, clear communication behind him, and maximize him offensively, at least one other creator on the floor, plus shooting and cutting, so he doesn't have to burn energy manufacturing every advantage. The clarity around his progression gives Redick and his staff the green light to map those rotations now, not on the fly. Staggered LeBron Doncic minutes to guarantee an elite initiator with each unit. Bench-heavy groups stabilized by LeBron's playmaking. Defensive possessions where he's more of a roaming mind and backline, voiced in someone chasing guards through 3 screens. The sooner he returns healthy under these rules, the faster those patterns become normal. This moment also says a lot about how the front office has grown. In past years, the impulse might have been to rush him back, market the comeback, lean on him to cover structural flaws. This time, the message is different. The team is winning. The support pieces are real, and they're not going to gamble his long-term availability for a week of hype. That alignment between medical, coaching, and management is exactly what a contender needs. Using South Bay as part of his ramp-up isn't diminishing his status. It's applying the same performance standards you'd use for any elite asset, except this one happens to be one of the greatest players of all time. You don't manage this stage of his career with nostalgia. You manage it with information, humility, and a clear idea of what you want him to be in April and May. Of course, the stakes haven't disappeared. Even at 8-3, the Western Conference squeezes you. One injury run, one cold stretch, and things get tight. That's why this particular update matters more than just LeBron is feeling better. It tells you there is a coherent, realistic path to him rejoining the active solution, not just a storyline. When he steps back on the floor under this plan, he's not arriving to rescue a broken locker room. He's arriving to amplify something that's already functioning, that allows him to pick spots, lean on his mind, and preserve his legs for when the season really starts to demand greatness. And if you're visualizing playoff basketball, you already know a properly managed LeBron, next to a fully integrated Doncic and a confident Reaves, is a nightmare scouting packet for any coaching staff across 7 games. There's also the mental side, for him and for the group. As clips eventually surface of him running 5-on-5, driving, posting, defending, it'll be easy for timelines to jump from he looks good to he's 100% back. Unleash him. That's where this channel, and you need to read deeper. The signs that matter aren't one dunk or one logo 3. It's how comfortable he looks changing directions, how he absorbs contact, whether he avoids certain angles or moves naturally through them. It's how the team talks. If Redick and the staff keep stressing ramp up, minutes restriction, no rush, that's exactly what you want to hear. The only real danger sign will be a sudden flip in tone to full go, no limitations. Forget the plan, just to force a narrative. So far, that's not what this is. The slow, deliberate build is intentional, especially with an injury type that punishes impatience. And this forces us to give proper respect to what the rest of the roster has done. Defensive rotations have sharpened. Role players are no longer passengers. The schemes don't assume LeBron will fix every broken action. Instead, they demand collective responsibility. That's the environment he deserves to come back into. A team that can stand on its own 2 feet and then hands him the keys in decisive moments, not a group sitting in neutral, waiting for a miracle. If you want to extend the window of a 40-year-old superstar, this is the blueprint. You reduce the need for constant heroics so that when he does go into that mode, it's selective and devastating. There's another important layer that changes everything beneath the surface. His timeline quietly reshapes how the front office should treat every marginal decision on this run. When you know there is a real structured path for LeBron's return, not hope, not vibes, but an actual progression with benchmarks, you don't operate from fear. You don't go out hunting for some artificial LeBron replacement that eats cap, clogs touches, and becomes redundant the moment he's back. You don't burn assets on a name that overlaps his space on the floor just to calm the timeline for a week on social media. Instead, every move is filtered through a simple, rational lens. This is a team that will soon reinsert one of the greatest offensive organizers in history into a structure that is already functioning without him. That means be-out targets, depth trades, 10th, 11th man decisions, and development minutes all get evaluated as complementary pieces to a rotation that includes a healthy, managed LeBron not panic band-aids trying to copy him. A clear return framework allows the front office to stay disciplined at the edges. You can target wings who defend and shoot, bigs who can anchor second units and keep the paint clean, guards who can survive off the ball and cut instead of needing 20 pick and rolls a night to feel involved. You can afford to be patient with young players, knowing they will soon be playing in lineups where LeBron and Doncic create advantages. They simply have to read and finish. You can say no to short-sighted moves that would steal on-ball reps from Reaves just when he's proven he can shoulder real responsibility. Because that's another key part. A healthy, well-managed LeBron doesn't erase what these guys are building. He enhances it. His return, done right, unlocks cleaner, staggered minutes for Doncic, less grind. More efficiency relieves Reaves from being overextended as a constant primary without shrinking his role, and lets role players slide back into responsibilities that match their strengths instead of asking them to punch above their weight every night. That's how you protect the roster long term. By spreading decision-making and load across multiple elite creators and defined specialists, not stacking everything on one 41-year-old and hoping every possession where LeBron can function as a secondary creator instead of a volume lifter is a possession that stretches this team's lifespan. Let him catch the elbow, survey, hit cutters, run two-man actions with Doncic, call out mismatches, manipulate weak side tags. Those are low-stress, high-impact reps. Let him flow into trail threes, short roll playmaking, post-split, instead of demanding 15 full-speed drives a night. When he becomes an off-ball hub or a situational initiator, instead of an emergency generator, you're saving legs everywhere. His, Doncic's, Reaves, even the bigs who don't have to overhelp on broken possessions. You create a hierarchy where nobody has to play desperate basketball in November to chase an identity. That's roster architecture driven by clarity. And that clarity doesn't just live in the front office spreadsheets. It seeps directly into the locker room in a way players feel. It gives the group something powerful that most teams never balance: direction without complacency. These guys know two truths at the same time now. First, they've already proven they can win without LeBron on the floor. That's not theory. That's an 8-3 start built on execution, game plans followed, and different players stepping into nightly responsibility. That fuels belief. It tells every rotation guy, your minutes mattered. Your work isn't fake. Second, they know he's close. They see the work. They hear the structured language from the staff. And they understand that when he comes back, it won't be chaos. It will be into a framework with defined standards, roles, and expectation. That combination, when handled right, doesn't make people relax. It sharpens them. Guys aren't just holding spots for LeBron anymore. They're auditioning to stay in those groups next to him. Wing defenders know that if they compete now, they'll be trusted later to cover ground when lineups tighten. Bigs understand that screening, rolling hard, protecting the rim, and finishing plays next to Doncic and LeBron is their lane into high-leverage minutes. Guards recognize that smart off-ball movement, defensive focus, and decision-making are what will keep them on the floor when the rotation compresses. Young players feel that if they prove they can help this team win in his absence, they're not going to be discarded the second his name is back on the board. They're going to be incorporated. That environment tends to kill entitlement and reward professionalism. A team that has grown through his absence and gets him back with a serious, pre-built plan is completely different from a team that just sits around waiting for him to fix everything. In the first case, his return is an additive force. He plugs into something organic, elevates it, and takes pressure off everyone without erasing their agency. In the second case, he walks into dependency, broken habits, players unsure of their roles, a coach rewriting everything on the fly. Right now, all signs point to the first scenario, and that's why this update is bigger than a medical note. It's a statement about how the Lakers intend to manage the final chapter of LeBron's career, deliberately, structurally, with respect for the group and for his longevity, instead of squeezing him dry because they failed to build a functional team. Let me bring this together clearly. The key news remains simple and strong. LeBron James has reached a major, positive checkpoint in his recovery from sciatica, and the organization has moved him into a controlled ramp-up that includes structure, work with South Bay, and a defined internal window for his return, tied to managed minutes and performance monitoring, not to external pressure. The strong start has given the Lakers freedom to stick to this plan without sacrificing competitiveness, and everything around it signals a smarter, more sustainable use of him in what will be his record 23rd season. No fake promises, no exact activation date carved in stone, but for once, a coherent roadmap that the team, the staff, and the players seem aligned on. Now I want to hear you, because this community thinks the game. Should the Lakers lean even further into caution and slow play his minutes, trusting this group to keep winning while they prioritize having LeBron at peak capacity for April and May? Or do you believe that once he clears every benchmark, integrating him quickly into full rhythm is essential to building chemistry, tightening the rotation and locking in seeding while things are trending up? What minute range do you consider responsible at this stage? 25, 28, 30 on select nights? And how strict would you be on back-to-backs? And how do you feel about using the G League environment as part of his ramp-up? Do you see it as a smart, modern tool for managing a superstar body? Or does it still hit you as surreal to associate LeBron with anything other than the main stage, even knowing the logic behind it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them. I use them to guide what we break down next. And this channel exists exactly for fans like you who want context, not just clips. If you want to keep getting updates like this fast, grounded, detailed, and delivered with the same respect you have for this team, make sure you're subscribed to Lakers News Fan Report. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next status check or rotation deep dive. Hit like so more locked-in Laker fans find this space, and share this video with that friend who treats every injury report like a playoff scouting document. I'll be here with you all season, tracking every step of LeBron's return and every decision that shapes what this version of the Los Angeles Lakers can really become.